Hi, this is Maryland Juice here, otherwise known as David Moon, and I'm about to embark on a pretty unusual blog and information experiment. So, if you're wondering why you're staring at a list of state senators' names, it's because I just spent about an hour typing up a database of every state senator in Maryland, including their mailing address, their email address, their phone number, their party. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you look down the horizon, you can see that there's going to be a large number of retirements in 2014, including from people who are running for higher office, some people they're just leaving, and a few people have just been put into new legislative districts that may not be easy for them to win again, so they're thinking about what to do. So in the midst of all of this, an interesting question arises. What's going to happen with the Senate leadership? And I've tried to find out more about this, so I've asked a number of elected officials about this. And, the assumption has been that Senate President Mike Miller is probably going to stick around forever. I've also heard some grumbling from some elected officials about this, so I thought, you know what? Why don't we just poll the state senators and see exactly what they think about this. And the first reaction I got when I asked some folks what they thought of this idea, they said, oh, everybody's tried to take down Mike Miller in the past and it never works. And this isn't really about that. This is actually just an informational poll, but it started to occur to me that, what we're really talking about is a game theory problem here, that most elected officials just are not going to be in a position if one of their colleagues comes to them and asks, will you support me in the race for Senate President? Most elected officials won't want to answer that honestly because there's too much risk of backstabbing and someone seeing an advantage in telling, the Senate President that so-and-so is contemplating a leadership challenge. So I realized that in order for a proper discussion to be had, there needed to be a holding place for this type of information, a safe third party or an intermediary, a mediator, so to speak, a independent board of elections that could gather this information and then release the findings back to the legislators so that they could say honestly how they felt about the situation without fear of any repercussions. So, I'm aware that my blog says a lot of controversial things sometimes, and, we often criticize members of the state Senate, so I won't be surprised if some state senators who receive a ballot in the mail decline to participate, but let me just point out a few things. I think everybody in this process has an interest in having as accurate results as possible. So I encourage you to keep an open mind. And, obviously I have no desire to screw anyone over or, divulge anything. So that's why I'm making this video. What I'm about to do is to make ballots asking how state senators hypothetically would vote in a leadership election today, and even if they want a leadership election. And I'm also going to include some questions about if they're on the fence about the question, what would it take to get them to have a more open mind. So I'm going to try and keep it very short. And here's what I'm going to do. So to make this completely trustworthy, this process, what I'm about to do is print one ballot for each state senator in Maryland. I'm going to leave out Mike Miller because I presume he'll vote for himself. So I'm going to print one ballot for every state senator in Maryland, and I'm going to mail them to your Senate office building. So each ballot is going to be exactly the same, and I'm about to cut a second video showing me making the ballots so that you can verify that they're in fact identical. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a sticker on every single ballot that you guys couldn't possibly have. That way, you know, no one will be able to duplicate these ballots and, you know, stuff the ballot box. And I'm going to put a return envelope in every single mailing. And so when you return it, as long as you mail it from Annapolis, it'll be completely anonymous. And it'll just come to me. And I'll probably even hold all of the ballots at one time before I even open them. So keep your eye out for the ballot, and you know, I think it'll be really interesting to see how this poll turns out. So you know, please keep an open mind. Like I said, the ballots are anonymous, so you'll see that when you get them, that there's no way for anyone to know how you voted or who voted on what. Again, mail it from Annapolis so that we have no way of looking at the postmark and figuring out who mailed which ballot. The only difference is there's going to be a different ballot for Republicans than there is for Democrats. But I'll go ahead and post all this online soon, so stay tuned. www.marylandjuice.com. Thanks.